my YouTube channel. That's Accountability Lisa Michaels. You search on there, you can find it, I think, linked on my Twitter account. I'm trying to try and do that. You have tuned into Lisa Michaels' True Trump Tweets, and I'm going to share with you. I had guests in town, and I just haven't been able to do one, so I'm trying to catch up. So bear with me. And I don't know if I've warned you before, but I am dyslexic, so sometimes I don't read the news too terribly well. It's probably why I majored in broadcast sales management instead of news. Not much of a teleprompter, but here we go. Chuck Schumer, this is June 17th. Chuck Schumer said the summit was what the Texans call all cattle and no hat. Thank you, Chuck, but are you sure you got that right? No more nuclear testing or rockets flying all over the place. Blew up launch sites, hostages already back. Hero remains coming. Hero remains are coming home. Much more. Okay. This is, of course, right after he had the historic meeting with the North Koreans, Kim Jong Il. So then, next one, this is on June 17th. Please clear up the fake news. And the fake news he's reporting to is from Donald Trump. I have a great relationship with Angela Merkel in Germany, but the fake news media only shows the bad photos, implying anger and negotiations agreement. So, anyway, he's commenting on his own. And these, by the way, if you're not aware of this, these videos are primarily for people that don't um, you're wondering, why is she reading the tweets? There's a lot of people out there, believe it or not, especially older folks, that just really don't want to do the Twitter, or any of this sort of stuff. So, but they're not getting the real news. They're still relying, unfortunately, upon the fake news media, otherwise known as CNN, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, all those. They're just propaganda pieces. And I just learned today that actually they made it legal for the CIA and the FBI well, certainly the FBI, I think CIA has been doing it for a long time, to have their agents go undercover and pretend to be reporters. So it's just fake. So you're going to have to go out and find your own news. That's why I'm doing this. So this is, I know we're getting true news straight from the guy himself, the President of the United States of America. You may not like him, but he is who he is, and he says what he thinks, and we can trust what he says because he says what he thinks. This is not focus tested comments that he's making. It's great stuff. So, for those of you who do not subscribe to the Twitter, this will be an excellent lesson for you. So, moving on. Next one was Daniel Henniger of the Wall Street Journal, more fake news. This IG report makes it clear, as Rod Rosenstein's memo, that Trump was absolutely justified, unquestionably justified, in firing Jim Comey. So I think the Mueller investigation is on pretty weak ground right now. Witch hunt! Exclamation point. Then the next one he did on the 17th was funny how the fake news is in a coordinated effort with each other, like to say, I gave so much to North Korea because I met. That's because that's all they have to disparage. We got so much for peace in the world and more being added in finals. Even got our hostages and remains. Holding back the war games during the negotiations was my request because they are very expensive and set a bad light during the good faith negotiations, all quite provocative, can start up immediately if talks break down, which I hope will not happen. The denuclearization, next one, the denuclearization of deal with North Korea is being praised and celebrated all over Asia. They're so happy over here and in our country. Some people would rather see this historic deal fail than give Trump a win, even if it does save potentially millions and millions of lives, which of course it did. This is just amazing how the mainstream media, you can just tell they're shills for the corrupt left. Our economy is perhaps better than it has ever been, which it is. Companies are doing well and moving back to American. Job numbers are the best in 44 years, like that. Okay, Washington Post employees want to go on strike because Bezos isn't paying them enough. I think a really long strike would be a great idea. Employees would get more money, and we would get rid of fake news for an extended period of time. Washington Post, a registered law is Washington Post a registered lobbyist? It's because the Washington Post is just they're just trying to brainwash you into thinking the way they think. Don't go there. Don't go there. You're gonna have to get active and go out and find the news yourself. I've had to beat 17 talented people, including Bush dynasty. Then I had to beat the Clinton dynasty, and now I have to beat the phony witch hunt and all the dishonest people covered in the IG report, and never forget the fake news media. It never ends. Democrats can fix their focused family breakup at the border by working with Republicans on new legislation for change. This is why we need more Republicans elected in November. Democrats are good at only three things: high taxes, high crime, and obstruction. Sad. My supporters are the smartest, strongest, most hardworking, and most loyal that we have seen in our country's history. It is a beautiful thing to watch as we win elections and gather support from all over the country. As we get stronger, so does our country. Best numbers ever. The IG report totally destroys James Comey and all his minions, including the great lovers Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, who started this disgraceful witch hunt against so many innocent people. It will go down as a dark and dangerous period in America's history. Witch hunt. There was no Russian collusion. Oh, I see. There was no Russian collusion. So now they look for obstruction on the no Russian collusion. The phony Russian collusion was made up hoax. Too bad they didn't look at Crooked Hillary like this double standard, which it is. Happy Father's Day. I wonder if I did already do this. These seem really familiar. I'm going to go to the 18th because I can, for some reason, think I've done a lot of those. So starting on the 18th. Okay. Why don't the Democrats give up the votes to fix the world's worst immigration laws? Where is the outcry for the killing and crimes being caused by gangs and thugs, including MS-13 coming into our country illegally? The people of Germany are turning against their leadership as immigration is rocking the already tenuous Berlin coalition. Crime in Germany is way up. Big mistake made all over Europe in allowing millions of people in who have so strongly and violently changed their culture. We don't want that. Don't want what is happening with immigration in Europe to happen with us! Exclamation point. Children are being used by some of the worst criminals on earth as a means to enter our country. Has anyone been looking at the crime taking place south of the border? It's historic, with some countries the most dangerous places in the world. Not going to happen in the U.S. Change the laws! Exclamation point. Because Congress is supposed to change laws. He's not supposed to be just willy-nilly making it, with the stroke of his pen like Obama did. These executive orders. Congress is supposed to enact laws. It is the Democrats' fault for being weak and ineffective with border security and crime. Tell them to start thinking about people devastated by crime coming from illegal immigration. Change the laws. This was on the 18th. Is President Obama, who got nowhere with North Korea and would have had to go to war with many millions of people being killed, had gotten along with North Korea and made his initial steps towards the deal that I have, the fake news would have named him a national hero. That's if he had done it, but he didn't do it. Comey gave Strzok his marching orders. Mueller is Comey's best friend. Witch hunt. I can't think of something more concerning than a law enforcement officer suggesting that they're going to use their powers to affect an election. Inspector General Horowitz on what was going on with numerous people regarding my election, a rigged witch hunt. Crime in Germany is up 10%. Officials do not want to report these crimes since migrants are accepted. Other countries are even worse. Be smart, America. Now we're on the 19th. If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. Democrats are the problem. They don't care about crime, want illegal immigrations, no matter how bad they may be, to pour into our to and infest our country, like MS-13. They can't win the terrible policy with their terrible policies, so they view them as potential voters. So the illegal aliens, just in case you didn't realize this, the only reason the left wants them is because they want to fraudulently allow them to vote, get them citizenship ASAP, fast track them to the polls. They don't care about them other than that. We must always arrest people coming into our country illegally. Of the 12,000 children, 10,000 are being sent by their parents on very dangerous trip, and only 2,000 are with their parents, many of whom have tried to enter our country illegally on numerous occasions. These are child trafficked kids. These kids are trying to be brought in here so they can child traffic, abuse them, use them for their satanic worship services. It's scary stuff. And then the news media tells you, oh, they've been separated from the family. 10,000 compared to 2,000. Hello, hello, hello. What kind of parents send them? I bet they were stolen from their parents in some other country and brought here. This is just, or bought. I don't know. Some horrible countries might even sell their kids. Scary. Anyway, more on the 19th of June. Change the laws. He wants to start a hashtag. Change the laws. Now is the best opportunity ever for Congress to change the ridiculous and obsolete laws on immigration. Get it done. Always keeping in mind that we must have strong border security. Join me tomorrow in Duluth, Minnesota. And he was just telling people about it. Thank you. And he went to different events. I'm not gonna do the events. I'm just gonna do the comments. I want to take a moment to address the current illegal immigration crisis on the southern border. It has been going on for many, many decades. So, but the fake news media tries to make you think it's just Donald Trump just all of a sudden decided to do it. Ah! Homeland Security Secretary Nielsen did a fabulous job yesterday at the press conference explaining security at the border and for our country, while at the same time recommending changes to obstacles and nasty laws which force family separation. We want heart and security in America. Earlier today, FLOTUS, otherwise known as First Lady of the U.S., Melania and I were honored to welcome King Philippe the Sixth and Queen Letizia of Spain to the White House. Okay. Fake news is not mentioning the safety and security of our country when talking about illegal immigration. Our immigration laws are the weakest and worst anywhere in the world, and the Dems will do anything not to change them and to want open borders, which means crime. It's the Democrats' fault. They won't give us the votes to pass good immigration legislation. They want open borders, which breeds horrible crime. Republicans want security, but I'm working on something. It never ends. And there's a picture of him with Kim Jong-il. It's hard to believe that the historic North Korean Kim Jong-un summit was exactly 1 week ago. Truly amazing to see the length the left/media will go through to change the narrative. That was said by Eric Trump. Donald Trump retweeted. For those of you who don't do the tweets, if you like something somebody else says on Twitter, you can retweet it. You can basically put it on your little page telling you if you want to compare it to Facebook. FBI techs have revealed anti-Trump bias. Fox News, big news, but the fake news doesn't want to cover it. Total corruption. The witch hunt has turned out to be a scam. At some point soon, the mainstream media will have to cover correctly too big a story. This is the biggest story in the history of my lifetime in the news media. We'll not tell you about it. So find out what it is. The golf, once the midterms are over, liberals won't talk about detained or separated illegal children until 2020, because that's how they roll. They just want to find bad things to say about the other side. They don't have anything good to tell you. They have no interest in actually making the country better, because then they'd have nothing to complain about. That's just me. That's not Donald Trump. Now back to Donald Trump. More records, Make America Great. This record was boom. Survey finds that 95% of manufacturers bullish on future. Record optimism. This is the record highest optimism for manufacturers. 95%. Read it and weep left. Okay, White House comments on family separation. Donald Trump did a whole little speech. I'll play a little bit of it. Well, I really don't have time. Just go on YouTube and look for White House speech when he decided to talk about, signing the executive order. So anyway, had a great meeting with the House GOP last night at the Capitol. They applauded and laughed loudly when I mentioned my experience with Mark Sanford. I have never been a fan of his. I think Mark Sanford might have been a Republican. I don't know. But anyway, he got ousted in the primary. Look what fake news ABC News put out. I guess they had it prepared for the 13 angry Democrats leading the witch hunt. So Manafort pleads guilty to 5 charges of manslaughter. Total lie. So he shows a picture of that. See, they just make up news. They don't tell you the truth. Just landed in Duluth, Minnesota. 2 events planned. Looking forward to them and being with Pete Strauber and his wonderful family. He's going around just campaigning for everybody in this midterm election. Thank you, Duluth, Minnesota. Anyway, so he goes there. Made a great speech. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, find it on YouTube. His speech in Minnesota. They're so entertaining, so informative. If you really want the straight news, watch his speeches. Just returning from the great state of Minnesota, anyway. Credible 9,000 people and at least 10,000 who could not get in. I will return. Congratulations to Peter Strauber, who loved and respected, and is loved and respected in Minnesota. All-time record optimism, 95.1% from the manufacturers. He's saying trumpeting that again. Okay, we shouldn't, and this is the 21st, we shouldn't be hiring judges by the thousands as our ridiculous immigration laws demand. We should be changing our laws, building the wall, hire border agents and ICE, and not let people come into our country based on the legal phrase they are told to say as their password. I need him. Yeah. Okay. The border has been a big mess problem for many years. At some point, Schumer and Pelosi, who are weak on crime and border security, will be forced to do a real deal. So easy that solves this long-term problem. Schumer used to want border security. Now he'll take crime. Okay, I will be going to Columbia, South Carolina. Anyway, he's talking about it. Last night, Minnesota's incredible crowd. What is the purpose of the House doing good immigration bills when you need 9 votes by the Democrats in the Senate, and the Dems are only looking to obstruct, which they feel is good for them in the midterms? Republicans must get rid of the stupid filibuster rule. It is killing you. In case you didn't know this, this is some stupid rule that they just decided to make up. This is not the way our founders created our Congress. In order for them to end debate on a particular issue called cloture, I believe, they have to have 60% vote. So which means we only have 51 votes. So it means we need 9 Democrats. And the Democrats, if they do anything if you want to give them any credit for anything, they always stick together. That's because they're all corrupt and they've all been blackmailed, bribed, and are on the take. And once all this is exposed, I expect most of them to be living in orange jumpsuits down in Gitmo. But anyway, Henry McMaster has done a great job as governor of South Carolina. Anyway, he went down there and promoted McMaster. Democrats want open borders where anyone can come into our country and stay. This is Nancy Pelosi's dream. It won't happen. My administration is acting swiftly to address the illegal immigration crisis on the southern border. Loopholes in our immigration laws, all supported by extremist open border Democrats, and that's why they're extremist open border Democrats. He says it twice. The real story that affects everybody in America is the success of President of the United States tax cut packages and what it's done for our economy. Excuse me. I was thrilled to be back in Minnesota and roundtable hardworking American patriots. Thank you. Farm bill just passed in the House. So happy to see work requirements included. Big win for farmers. We're still on the 21st. Big Supreme Court win on internet sales tax. About time. Big victory for fairness for our country. Great victory for consumers and retailers. I don't know if I like that, but anyway, I suppose there's some reasons. I really don't care, do you? Written on the back of Melania's jacket refers to the fake news media. Melania has learned how dishonest they are, and she truly no longer cares. And you shouldn't care either, because the fake news media is just propaganda. It's like you're just, this is what they want you to think, and this is what they're going to tell you. It has nothing to do with reality. Very little. You cannot pass legislation on immigration, whether it be for safety, security, or any other reason, including heart, without getting Dem votes. Problem is, they don't care about security, and ours do. 0 Dems voted to support the Goldblatt bill. They won't vote for anything. And he's got a picture of Obama. I think Obama says, "Don't worry, Republicans and your president will fix it." Here's what Obama says. Let's see what he says on this video.
Our immigration system is broken. Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country.
People who should be here are those who come legally.
We have to send a clear message. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay.
Okay, so that was a little video that the composite of all of the Democrat haters just being caught lying through their teeth. Now they're for illegal immigration. They used to be against it. Our great judge, we're going to make America great again. Make America great again. Her great judge, Jeanine Pirro, is out with a new book, Liars, Leakers, and Liberals, the case against anti-Trump conspiracy, which is fantastic. Go get it. Even if we get 100% Republican votes in the Senate, we need 10 Democrat votes to get much needed immigration bill. The Democrats and the obstructionists who won't give votes for political reasons and because they don't care about crime and coming from the border. So we need to elect ours. Republicans should stop wasting their time on immigration until we elect more senators, congressmen, women in November. Dems are just playing games, have no intention of doing anything to resolve this decades-old problem. We can pass great legislation after the red wave. Governor McMaster is truly a fine man. I just want to talk about when he's endorsing people. He endorses Congresswoman Martha Roby of Alabama, who's a consistent, reliable, blah, 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 blah. Okay, good job, FLOTUS, breaking the First Lady touches down in McAllen, Texas, making an unannounced trip to get first-hand look at the crisis affecting migrant families at the border. So you should check that video out. And he's retweeting his son Eric's tweet. Then 80% of Mexico's exports come to the United States. They totally rely on us, which is fine with me. They do have, though, very strong immigration laws. The U.S. has pathetically weak and ineffective immigration laws that the Democrats refuse to help us fix. We will speak to Mexico. I think we should have, here's my idea. I think we should have redundant both. God, I'm getting eaten alive by these mosquitoes. Note to self, make sure I bring mosquito things out here. Anyway, I think we should have reciprocal trade and reciprocal border security. Whatever the rules for immigrants coming across their borders into their country is the same as ours. So if they have real loose immigration laws and people can come there and live and buy houses and stuff easily in Mexico, then fine, we can do the same here. And if they have the same kind up in Canada, sure, we can do the same here. And a lot of people don't realize they can't claim asylum here or a refugee status if they aren't from Mexico or Canada. They're supposed to go to the first country that is not the country that they need, that they're fleeing. So anyway, we go on. Hope OPEC will increase output substantially. Need to keep prices down. This is on the 22nd. Based on tariffs and trade barriers long placed on the U.S., it's a great companies and workers by the European Union. If their tariffs and barriers are not soon broken down and removed, we will be placing 20% tariff on all their cars coming into the United States. Build them here. See, if they're charging, like here he says, if they're charging 20% for our cars to go into their country, then we should charge 20%. Just look at, you should just have a book, or well, not a book, but check it out on the internet. Oh, these are cars coming in. Okay, let me look up what you guys charge us. Okay, we charge you the same. Pretty soon they're going to get wise to that, and they're going to change their approach, I think. That's just my own thinking. Elect more Republicans in November. Will pass the finest and fairest and most comprehensive immigration bills anywhere in the world. Right now, we have the dumbest, worst. Dems are doing nothing but obstructing. Remember the motto: resist, ours is produced. That's theirs is to resist, and ours is to produce, which he is. Winning and winning. He wasn't kidding when he said we get tired of winning. But I'm not tired yet. Keep it going. We have to maintain strong borders, and we will no longer have a country that we can be proud of. And if we show weakness, millions of people will journey into our country. That's so true. Steel is coming back fast. U.S. Steel is adding great capacity also. So are others. And that's Secretary of State Pompeo. Dan Scavino, his friend, he's retweeting, requested by family members after their private meeting and visit to the Oval Office, which took place before public remarks, as seen in the Eisenhower Executive Building. Trump autographs photos of people killed by undocumented immigrants. Look at that, so sad. See this. Fake news media will only tell you about the immigrants, making up stories about the immigrants, pretending that little girls have been separated from their mother and their parents when they haven't, so they can make a picture. I gotta kill this thing. I gotta get it. I should kill him. Okay. So anyway, we are gathered together. We're gathered today to hear directly from the American victims of illegal immigration. These are the American citizens permanently separated from their loved ones because they were killed by criminal illegal aliens. These are the families the media ignores. That's so true. President Trump delivers remarks on immigrants' families. Let's see. Jesse Waters. What's TP? High School Leadership Summit. Congressman Ron DeSantis, a top student at Yale, Harvard Law School, is running for governor of the great state of Florida. Ron is strong on borders, tough on crime, big on cutting taxes, loves our vets. He will be a great governor and has my full endorsement. Polls numbers plummet on the Democrats' inspired and paid for Russian witch hunt. With all the bias, lying, hate by the investigators, people want the investigators investigated. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Investigate Mueller and all his angry 13 liberal Democrats that work with him. Much more will come out. A total scam, excuse for Dems losing the election. So true. Russian witch hunt is rigged. National Association, now we're now on to the 23rd. National Association of Manufacturers just announced 95.1. We already went over that. Disability applications plunge as economy strengthens, failing New York Times. Drudge Report, Obama kept them in cages, wrapped them in foil. We do much better job while at the same time maintaining much stronger borders. Mainstream fake media hates this story. VP Pence is heading to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we both strongly endorse one of the finest men around, Congressman Keith. He is running against Lamb the Sham, who's telling everyone much he likes me, but he will only vote with Nancy Pelosi. Keith is strong borders and tough on crime and loves cutting taxes. My thoughts and prayers are with Representative Katie Arrington of South Carolina, including all those involved in last night's car accident and their families. So sad. And that former strong faith, the support of her family, prayers, support of her community, and the incredible doctors, staff at the hospitals. She's certain she'll be back to work to her soon. Oh, so sad. Okay. Heading to Nevada to talk trade and immigration with supporters, country's economy stronger than ever before, numbers that are getting better by the week. Tremendous potential and strong deals are coming along well. Tonight, the President of the United States sits down to discuss the thoughts about international relations, immigrations, and much more. Skipped and watch Huckabee's show. He was on Huckabee apparently. And then he's with Judge Clarence Thomas. Wish him happy birthday, which I love. It's sad that Nancy Pelosi and her sidekick Cry and Chuck Schumer want to protect illegal immigrants far more than citizens of our country. The United States cannot stand this. We want safety, security, in the borders. Okay. Thank you for the GOP. President Trump delivers remarks in Nevada. America is open for business. He takes questions. That's a pretty good little interview, too, if you want to check that on YouTube. YouTube's got to be your place to go because you're not getting real news anyplace else. Major Wall Street Journal opinion piece today talking about the Russian witch hunt and the disgrace that it is. So many people hurt so bad for our country. A total sham. Democrats fix the laws. Don't resist. We are doing a far better job than Bush or Obama, but we need strength and security at the borders. Cannot accept the people trying to break into our country's strong borders. No crime. We cannot allow all these people to invade in our country. When somebody comes in, we must immediately, with no judges or court cases, bring them back from where they came. Our system is a mockery of good immigration policy and law and order. Most children come without parents. That's sad. They're probably being child trafficked. Our immigration policy, laughed at all over the world, is very unfair to all those people who are gone through the system legally and are waiting in line for years. Immigration must be based on merit. We need people who will help them make America great again. The United States, I'm on the 24th. The United States is insisting that all countries that have placed artificial trade barriers and tariffs on goods going into their country remove those barriers and tariffs or be met with more than reciprocity, more than a reciprocal response, I think is what by the USA. Trade must be fair and no longer one-way street. Jimmy Fallon is now whimpering to all that he did a famous hair show with me where he seriously messed up my hair and that he would have done it differently because it is said to have humanized me. He is taking heat. He called and said, monster ratings. Be a man, Jimmy. House Republicans, I don't know what that's about. House Republicans could easily pass bill on stronger border security. Remember, it still has to pass the Senate, and for that we need 10 Democrats, and all they do is resist. They want open borders, don't care about crime, need more Republicans to win in November. Rep. Clay Higgins has been a great help to me, cutting taxes, creating new health care programs, and low cost, fighting for border security, military vets. He is tough on crime, has a full endorsement, the great state of Louisiana. We want Clay. Former Attorney General Michael Mukasey said that President Trump is probably correct, that there was surveillance on Trump Tower, actually far greater than would ever have been believed. The Red Hen restaurant should focus more on clean. This is great. They did this. Surely a woman who's tragically afflicted with TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, was called at home by her staff to be notified that Sarah Sanders had the audacity of coming into their restaurant, the Red Hen. So she drove all the way to her restaurant and kicked her out. She kicked her out because she happens to work for the president. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, these people are insane. The Red Hen restaurant, so this is Donald Trump. After that happened, Donald Trump's talking about the Red Hen restaurant. That's the restaurant where she got kicked out of. The Red Hen restaurant should focus more on cleaning its filthy canopies, doors, and windows. Badly needs a paint job. Rather than refusing to serve a fine person like Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I always had a rule: if a restaurant is dirty on the outside, it's dirty on the inside. And we know he's a germ freak, so I can't imagine he'd be caught dead near the red hen. Anyway, moving on. We're on the 25th. So, yesterday. So, I have tried to stay uninvolved in the Department of Justice and FBI, although I do not legally have to, because of the now totally discredited and very expensive witch hunt currently going on. But you do have to ask why the DOJ and FBI aren't giving over requested documents. And now they're looking at impeaching Rod Rosenstein, the guy who's the head of the DOJ since the actual head, Jeff Sessions, recused himself since he'd been part of Donald Trump's campaign. Such a difference in the media coverage of the same immigration policies between Obama administration and ours. Actually, we have done a far better job in that facility. Our facilities are cleaner, better run than were the facilities under Obama. Fake news is working overtime. Hiring many thousands of judges and going through a long, complicated legal process is not the way to go. Will always be dysfunctional. People must simply be stopped at the border and told they cannot come into the U.S. Children brought back to the country. If this is done, illegal immigration will be stopped in its tracks and at very little by the comparison cost. This is the only real answer, and we must continue to build the wall. We'll be heading to one of my favorite places, South Carolina, to fight for one of my original fighters, Governor Henry McMaster, speaking at 7 o'clock. Okay, Trump haters still haven't realized how much they help him with their condescension of those who either voted for him or don't share their hatred for him. And now how much of them help him with their irrational hostility towards those who work for him. That's Marco Rubio said that. Well, that's nice. I'm not a big fan of Marco Rubio, but that's nice that he said that. Anyway, that was retweeted by Donald Trump. Congratulations to our dear friend, Trump Charlotte member, Scott McCarran, on his incredible win at the AmFam Champ this weekend. He's still staying up with his sports. His son Eric, he retweeted his son Eric Trump. Record high economic optimism. 51% of people think the economy is in the good or excellent. This is the highest number CNBC has ever recorded. Take that, fake news. Okay. 25th, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, an extraordinarily low IQ person, has become together with Nancy Pelosi, the face of the Democrat Party. She just called for harm to supporters, of which there are many, of the Make America Great Again movement. Be careful what you wish for, Max. He just tells it like it is. He just says exactly what he thinks. I love it. No filter. It's so great. Okay. Surprised that Harley Davidson and all the companies would be first to wave the white flag. Of all companies, would be first to wave the white flag. I fought hard for them, and ultimately they will not pay tariffs selling into the EU, which has hurt us badly on trade, down $151 billion. Taxes just a Harley excuse. Be patient. Apparently, Harley Davidson's moving some of their manufacturing plants over to, I think it's Thailand. And he's disappointed because that's one of the prime American companies, and I think he promoted them there. Anyway, director David Lynch, David Lynch said? Trump could go down as one of the greatest presidents. Director David Lynch, Trump could go down as one of the greatest presidents. Veteran filmmaker believes Donald Trump could be remembered as one of the greatest presidents in American history. There's a little article there. Okay, and this is from the White House. He retweeted today. Donald Trump and FLOTUS, Melania, welcome the king and whatever. Okay, why is Senator Mark Warner, Democrat of Virginia, perhaps in a near drunken state, claiming he has information that only he and Bob Mueller, the leader of the 13 angry Democrats on a witch hunt, knows? Isn't it this highly illegal? Is it being investigated? So if he knows that this congressman, or what is this, a senator knows something that's under investigation. They're supposed to keep it hidden. And if they leaked it, then somebody needs to go to jail. The hearing of Peter Strzok and the other hating frauds of the FBI and DOJ should be to the public on live TV, not closed door hearings that nobody will see. We should expose these people for what they are. There should be total transparency. Just landed in South Carolina. We'll be at McMaster Rally shortly. Great video of the McMaster Rally. You really should go see it on YouTube again. Just put in Trump rally. And then put in, you can do on the right side, you can do like filter, and then you can do like the last week or something to come up with it. Early this year, Harley Davidson, okay, this was today. Early this year, Harley Davidson said they would move much of their plant operations in Kansas City to Thailand. That was long before tariffs were announced. Hence, they were just using tariffs and trade war as an excuse. Shows how unbalanced and unfair trade is. But we will fix it. We are getting other countries to reduce and eliminate tariffs and trade barriers that have unfairly been used for years against our farmers, workers, and companies. We are opening up closed markets and expanding our footprint. They must play fair or they will pay tariffs. When I had Harley Davidson's officials over the White House, I chided them about tariffs in other countries like India being too high. Companies are now coming back to America. Harley must now know that they won't be able to sell back into the U.S. without paying big taxes. We are finishing our study of tariffs on cars from the EU in that they have long taken advantage of U.S. in the form of trade barriers and tariffs. In the end, it will all be even out, and it won't take very long. It was a little drink here. It was great being with Governor Henry McMaster's last night. Blah blah blah. He was, great on borders and everything. Anyway, vote for Henry McMaster's. And Harley Davidson should never be built in another country. Never. Their employees and customers are already very angry at them. If they move, watch, it will be the beginning of the end. They surrendered. They quit. The ore will be gone, and they will be taxed like never before. The face of Democrats look how he's fighting for American jobs. Look at that. How do you just not love this guy? Fact of the face of the Democrats is now Maxine Waters, who together with Nancy Pelosi have established a fine leadership team. They should always stay together and lead the Democrats, who want open borders and unlimited crime, and well into the future. Oh, and pick crooked Hillary for president. He's just trolling them. Oh, it's just so funny. Okay, the most profound question of our era. Was there a conspiracy in the Obama Department of Justice and the FBI to prevent Donald Trump from being president of the United States? Was Strzok at the core of the conspiracy? That's all. He's quoting Judge Andrew Napolitano from Fox News. Supreme Court upheld Trump travel ban. Wow! Exclamation point. Okay, and then the last one I've got, I'm not going to refresh. I'm just getting exhausted. Today we tell the story of an incredible hero who defended our nation in the World War II, First Lieutenant Garland Mueller O'Connor. Although he died 20 years ago, today he takes his rightful place in the eternal chronicle of American valor. That's nice. The Medal of Honor was distributed. Well, all right. I'm going to have to try it. I made it this far. I might as well see if he's tweeted anymore. Okay, let's see. Oh, he did. Oh, okay. I think he did. No, that's it. That's all I got. So, alrighty. This has gone on way too long. I do want to do a little quick Q thing. Okay, here's the deal. Go to qanon.pub. Q is in Queen, anon.pub. Oh my gosh, we've got a new one. I was thinking maybe they were going to go for 12 days like they did before. On May 22nd, they quit for 12 days and they came back on. Who knows if they were coming back. But they just did one new one. So I will do a Q. I'll do a Q drop from, I'll do from, let's see. Actually, I probably could do it because I started at, I'm going to start it. Let's see if we don't have too many. Okay. That one's too long. Okay, I'm going to start on the 19th. On the 19th, fight, free Iran, fight, 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 fight. Regime change. This is, okay, if you don't know what QAnon is, QAnon.pub. These are hints coming from somebody who's working with Donald Trump to tell us what's going on behind the scenes of all the people that are trying to legitimately, basically, uh, take advantage of our, or basically take out Trump and put in the Democrats, because they've been doing evil stuff and using our government to profit themselves, and the news media to lie to us, to make them not know that they're completely self profiting, and it's just evil. But anyway, so free, free, free. Regime change. People have the power. We stand with you. Okay, declassified LP. They don't tell you exactly what's happening. You're supposed to go and research it yourself. I know it's a lot of work, but it's interesting. It's kind of like being in the middle of a political whodunit thriller, and you get clues on regularly. So I'm almost going to be let down for me when this is all over. But the other day, I just wanted to let you know too, before I go into this, I sported this hat that I got at the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, where my father, Ulysses, was the very first member, but I don't know if he was. But anyway, he was close. And I got lots of wide-eyed looks at the Royal Stadium, and I wore my t-shirt that said Trump won, they cried. It's a great t-shirt. I recommend it highly, because nobody wants to tell you that they hate Trump when you're wearing a Trump won, they cried, because nobody wants to be considered a crier. I mean, really, nobody does. So anyway, next one. These come out periodically. They're kind of cryptic. They're on 4chan, and they just kind of, you can watch my other videos, explains it. Okay. Declassified. Viva la resistance. Viva versus vive. So I think that means French versus Italian, maybe. JC, I don't know what that is. Jim Comey, maybe. He's in brackets. Why classified by Intel Communications high levels? Define title. Define role with Mueller. Exchange shelters. Exchange shelters very senior member. I don't know what that means. This is just going to be too much. I don't want to do all this. This is just, you're going to have to look at it. It's very fascinating, though. And I'll try to do another one another time. But I do want to read this one that just came out. It just came out at 20:04. And they usually are on East Coast time. So, let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's 8, 20, and where time are we at here? Oh, okay, so about an hour ago. Coincidence, question mark. Review image / location. Nothing provided is random. SFO, which is San Francisco Airport, or San Francisco. JFK. A321 direct. Okay, so that's a flight going from San Francisco International Airport to JFK in New York. And it probably is an Airbus 321. And it's a direct, which I think they mean nonstop. Technically, you're supposed to say nonstop, because some people, direct and make things that could stop in Kansas City on the way, but they stay on the same plane. That's a direct. So anyway, I don't know what happened there. So we'll have to do some research on, is there anything funky? Review. Okay, so coincidences, question mark. No, there are no coincidences. There are no coincidences. These evil people, they're doing stuff, and they're making it look like it's an accident or suicide or different things, and there's no coincidence. They're coordinating this stuff because they're fighting for their lives, because they're losing all their money, they're losing all their power, and good people are winning. The white hats are winning. It's a good thing. So anyway, review image / location. Okay, nothing provided is random. So then maybe this is something on one of these previous videos or pictures that they've showed us that we're supposed to look at. But I don't know. Anyway, future proofs past. So a lot of times they'll put these drops and then later on, oh wow, that's what they meant. So, all right, thank you. And let's see, I wanted to do. Let me see. YouTube. Let's see my channel and videos. Okay. There we are. I don't know if I have any of my openings, but all right. Well, I want to thank God and thank everyone for watching. Please do subscribe. My blogs are conservativelisa.blogspot.com, conservativecrew.blogspot.com, but there's not much on that one right now. And then if you want some inspiration to have a better life, lisamichaels.blogspot.com. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for all the wonderful people that have watched this video. We want to thank you for their support and following me, and for and help all their families to be safe and come to have a closer relationship with you, our Lord Jesus Christ, and to get the gift of the Holy Spirit to help direct their lives. This we pray in our precious Son, Jesus' name.